everything about me, everything about me, everything about me, everything about me. Yeah. Everything about me. Hey, 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 hey. Everything about me. Yeah. Okay. I'm sitting waiting and I'm wishing on the stars.
Welcome back to the One More Thing podcast. My name is Ash. I am your host. This is episode 2 of season 1. We are talking about love this season, and we're really going to break down in this episode what is love, the definition of love, what it is, break it down to its simplest terms, and then the next episodes we really are just going to break it down like we are doing now, but focus on one specific thing. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is a safe space, not just for myself, but this is a safe space for you. This is a really just a podcast for us to heal with one another, grow, learn from others' experiences, share in each other's experiences. This really, like I said, this is a podcast to empower you through meaningful dialogue. We will be sharing everyday life lessons and just creating this safe space for you. I can't reiterate that enough. And having just one honest conversation at a time. So this is One More Thing with Ash. So like I said, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you got the time after this, go back to the first episode, listen to episode 1. Really, that is the launch of this podcast, why we're doing it. So I encourage you to go back. I did share a very heartfelt story, something that really hit home to me. I lost my brother a few months ago, and so I really hope that you can connect with that episode, whether you lost someone dear and close to you or you're experiencing your real first death of someone you're close to. That episode is for you. But if you're joining us again, welcome back. Episode 1 was so much fun, and definitely something that I probably will be crying off camera again. But episode 2, we're going to be talking about what is love. We're going to be breaking it down into simplest terms, and then the next following episodes, we're going to be breaking that parts of love that we just talked about into different sections. So what is love? So most people, when they hear the word love, they think about romantic partners. That is not what love is. Like I shared about the love of my brother in the last episode. So love really comes in all forms. There's self-love, there's passion, there's family love, there's romantic. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna break that down in the next episodes. But like I said, I want to really just hone in on what is love. So the question is, what is your definition of love? Let me know in the comments. But my definition of love is just this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, when you walk up to somebody, it's hard to describe and define love unless you pull out a freaking Webster dictionary and pull out the damn definition. But I think the way I can explain it, not give a definition of it, is just this profound feeling of home. We all find our comfort in our traumas, in a down day of like, what calms us down is feeling that sense of home. For me, when I'm stressed out, I cook. The other night I made pasta. I am half Italian, half Filipino, so I made a really good freaking marinara sauce, and one bite, I'm a pasta foodie junkie with pasta, and I just devoured that thing. Like, it made me feel at home and calmed me down. Whether you're dealing with something, I just go do something you love, whether it's going to the beach, whether it's going, I don't know, hanging out with friends, or taking yourself on a date, or calling that friend you haven't heard from in a while, or just like I said, taking yourself on a date. I feel like that's like, for me, that's a great tool. I took myself out to go see Wicked so many times. I can't even count them on 5 fingers anymore. So we're going to talk about self-love. That is the love of self, loving yourself. What is that journey like? I can tell you the self-love journey is a long journey. At 30 years old, I am still not like, I feel like I do love myself. And it's taken me a long time to say I love me. If you're struggling with that, that is perfectly okay. If you are feeling a certain kind of way, that's okay. I think for me, how I found me was doing everything to experience everything and realize what I do and do not like. Um, I tried different things. I've gone different places. I've had a cajillion friends, and I'm here to tell you that not all friendships last. The ones that do are the ones that mean the most. These are people that see you at your worst and see you at your best, and they don't care which way it is. The I like I mentioned in the last episode, I have a really good tight knit group of friends that I can trust and rely on, and it took me a long time. Like I said, it's there's no cookie cutter way to do it. There's no stages of what you're supposed to be doing. I think ultimately is about you putting your right foot forward and doing things that you feel is right in you. Obviously, everything that's legal and all the other things, but also have fun. Life is so short. You shouldn't be in one spot, and doing something you love to do, passion wise, is also super important. So, family love, that's something that's important to me. And I want folks to also, those who are listening, the word family, I don't mean like blood or chosen. We're going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we're going to talk about it in the next episode, but your family doesn't have to be your blood family. It can be your chosen family. I can tell you, living in LA, like my family lives 6 hours north. Having my chosen family here in LA is super important. And super amazing, just because, like, look, I left for a week and a half to be with my family, do all the things for the funeral and go through all the services. But let me tell you, there's nothing like my chosen family in LA. I you can, that's the beauty, like, as a queer person, like, you are able to find those folks that you connect with. And you don't need to have all these friends. I mean, people think you have like a trillion friends. I can count my main folks on one hand. And that's one thing I probably have learned. You can have a lot of close friends, but my ride or dies are on one hand. So, we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about blood versus chosen family. And the last part I really want to talk about is romantic love. So we're really going to talk about that too. The funny thing, like I said, I'm dedicating this podcast to my brother. My little baby brother, used to always ask me, "Have you found me a good brother-in-law yet?" And I said, "Well, no, not really. I'm still trying." Well, dating is not that easy. I don't think it's just an LA thing. I think it's just a general thing. Am I open to it? Absolutely. But I'm sure y'all can relate on that. We're gonna dive deep into romantic love in a different episode, but just to scratch the surface, like, we are gonna just talk about it, like experiences that I've had. And I'm definitely gonna bring someone that has dealt with that. I can't say their name now because I'll let them introduce themselves when they get here. But like I said, that just to scratch the surface. So we'll take a break here. We're gonna do some little bit, something that has to do with that romantic part. So, love languages. The love languages include like physical touch, gifts, words of affirmation, um, stuff like that. I personally, this has changed for me a lot. I've had one long-term relationship, and that was about 4.5 years of my life. Um, I haven't been in a long-term relationship since then. But I will say that my love language has changed completely. Back in the day, it used to be just words of affirmation and gifts. I also think that the gifts, he always bought me candy. I think I was just stressing the frick out. And so I just wanted to eat and eat and eat and eat. So what you're seeing now, it took a lot of work, folks. It's a lot of self-healing. So, but what I'm trying to say here is that it has changed. I will say now that my number one love language is physical touch and words of affirmation. I think words of affirmation and like quality time also mean a lot to me because, look, we're looking for a man that can cook in the kitchen. Let's just be real. We're looking for a man that can cook me a meal in the kitchen, or we can cook together. That'd be great. We can go to the same experience. We don't have to like everything, but just looking for a good, solid guy that wants to really just be a partner in this. Well, one thing I've also learned about that, and we'll talk about it in that episode, is that your partner or your boyfriend, girlfriend, special friends, as the kids are calling it these days, who knows? The guy on the DL, your, I don't know, love situationship, whatever it may be, if they don't value you, you shouldn't be there. You should not be there. You know, like one thing that has been my downfall is not listening to my gut. There are so many times where I've dated somebody and I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here. My gut's like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta find a way to get out of here. So, with that being said, I like physical touch. I love when someone comes behind me. I know y'all know that feeling. Your loved one comes behind you, gives you a big hug, and maybe at least other things. Who knows? I know in my experience it may have. But I guess following up with that is, have I ever been in love? I think I've been in love, but I've never been loved. What I mean by that is I've been in love. I did love my ex from a long time ago, but I don't think I've ever been loved the way my friends love me. That is the love I'm looking for. I really hope that makes sense to you all. I'm looking for the love my friends and my family give me. They love me 1000%. If someone only loves you for like a body part or just your body itself, or just like because of your profession or how much money you make or whatever it may be, you were in the wrong room. Somebody could love you with $5 in your bank account. Now, if you got $5 in your bank account, you'd be doing something wrong. But my point is that you got to find someone that loves you as much as your friends love you. And until then, Ash is on hold. And you better be on hold and do not accept anything less than that. So that is my long answer to have I ever been in love. The answer is I have been in love, but it really ended up being lust in the last 4 years of dating in LA. And I have not found that person that loves me the way my friends and my family do. So if that's any inspiration to you, a little wake up call, let me know in the comments. Shoot, I will link a way to email me and all that kind of stuff in my bio and stuff like that. So that is just to scratch the surface of the romantic episode that we're going to talk about that. So if we could bring this down to the thing about, I don't think that really, like, you can pull out like I said earlier, you can pull out a Webster dictionary and talk about what is the definition of love. But for me, love is, it, as cliche as it freaking sounds, is where the heart is. Where you feel at home is love. That person you're trying, dating, whatever, get through the first whatever dates. If you feel really good after dating this person for at least 3 months, that is a 3-month rule you should always be doing. And you feel good and you feel at home, you feel comfortable, then that is what love is. It's that feeling of safety, and feeling of being heard. Everyone wants to be heard, everyone wants to be listened to, and everyone wants to feel that they're secured. And so if you are, and so that is love. I could talk forever, and I really, really want to break this down into different episodes. So, but in the next episode, we are going to be talking about how important is family, the love of a family. We're going to break it down, whether it's blood versus chosen, and this actually is a 2-part episode. So, episode 3, we're going to talk about how important it is. We're going to talk about my upbringing. like I said, my upbringing, like in terms of education, everything, I was been very privileged. But in terms of like coming out, I will tell my coming out story. Why not? You'll see it. We're gonna have a little fun. Um, but if I could add one more thing, and I'm really grateful for you for joining us on this episode too, and continuing this conversation about love. You will notice that I can talk for ages, but I will say this. Join us for the next episode. I am super excited for you to join us. And if I can add one more thing, if anybody hasn't told you today, I love you. I believe you can do anything you set your mind to. Don't let anybody tell you can't do what you want to do in your life. Be passionate about it, be driven about it. You can do it. I believe in you and I love you. And thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, follow, share this episode with somebody that you may think that might help them. Um, and as we continue to expand this safe space together, I just can't wait. This podcast, like I said, this podcast is for you. It's not for me. It's for me to, I can give my experiences left and right, but this is for you. And hopefully you can relate to something that I say or any of my future guests say. So I will see you very soon. See you next time.